Have you ever wondered why some men prefer to walk alone? Why don't they feel the need to be part of a group or have a bunch of friends? There's a reason for this, which all has to do with how they see the world. Single males are a different breed of men who think and act differently than the average guy. They're the lone wolves who march to the beat of their own drum. They don't conform to societal norms and expectations, and don't need anyone's approval to feel good about themselves. While some people might see this as a negative trait, there are actually many advantages to being a Sigma. Here are 6 reasons why Sigma males choose to walk alone. 1. They don't follow the herd. Sigma males don't care about fitting in or being like everyone else. They're comfortable being on their own and don't feel the need to conform to societal norms. This allows them to think for themselves and make decisions without being influenced by others. They love to forge their own path, regardless of what others think. That's why many Sigma males drop out of school or quit their corporate jobs. They're not willing to sacrifice their individuality for the sake of conformity. While their peers are getting degrees and working 9-to-5 jobs, they're starting their own businesses and doing things their own way. Of course, you shouldn't drop out of college or quit your job just to be different. But if you have your own ideas and vision for your life, put them into action and don't let anyone hold you back. You can also be a Sigma without taking such drastic measures. It's more about having the mindset of being your own person and doing things your own way. 2. They detest authority. If there's one thing that Sigma men can't stand, it's when someone tries to tell them what to do just because they have a title or position of authority. They believe everyone is equal and no one has the right to tell them what to do. This can often lead to conflict with those in positions of authority, but it's something Sigmas are willing to fight for. They believe that authority should be earned through respect and not given simply because someone has a title. This is why they are often seen as rebels. They're not afraid to stand up to those in power and fight for what they believe in. While this can be a difficult path to take, it's one that Sigma males are willing to walk because they believe in their convictions. They won't take it from anyone, whether it's a teacher, parent, boss, or even an entitled friend who pushes them around. They'd rather walk away and be alone than accept it. This doesn't mean that Sigmas are confrontational. They just know when to stand their ground and when to walk away. Every situation is different, and they know how to handle each one accordingly. On the other hand, alpha males often submit to authority to maintain the status quo. They don't want to rock the boat or make waves because it could threaten their position. This is why alpha men are often seen as sellouts. They're willing to sacrifice their integrity to maintain the status quo. Sure, there are times when it's necessary to submit to authority, but alpha males do it more out of fear than anything else. 3. They're highly independent. Sigma males are extremely self-sufficient and know how to take care of themselves, both emotionally and physically. This autonomy allows them to live their life on their own terms without needing anyone else. They don't rely on others for validation or approval, and are perfectly content being alone. In fact, they often prefer it. This doesn't mean that they don't form close relationships. They just don't need them to feel complete. In order for an alpha male to feel fulfilled, they need to continuously compete and win in the hope of demonstrating their alpha status. He needs an external validation of his self-worth and finds it in praise and recognition. This is because most alphas have an ego that they need to maintain, and they use society's adoration as a way to do that. On the other hand, Sigma men don't seek validation from others because they're not worried about what other people think of them. They know their worth and don't need anyone else to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. This allows them to live a much more fulfilling and authentic life because they're not chasing after things that don't matter. When you're not focused on impressing others, you can focus on what's truly important to you, and that's what Sigma males do. 4. The power of freedom. When talking about freedom, most people think about being free from the chains of society or from an oppressive government, but for Sigma males, freedom has a different meaning. They believe that true freedom comes from within, and it's something that can't be taken away by anyone or anything. They are free in the sense that they don't let their past define them. They don't let their family, friends, or society dictate who they are or what they do. They forge their own path in life and make their own decisions. This can be a scary proposition for some, but it's the only way to truly be free. Sigma men also believe in financial freedom. They know that money doesn't buy happiness, but it does give them the ability to live a life on their own terms. They're not controlled by their job or boss, and they don't have to worry about making ends meet. This allows them to focus on more important things in life, like their hobbies, passions, and relationships. They believe that being free to live the way they want is more important than anything else. This is why they're often seen as lone wolves. They don't follow the pack because they want to be free. They don't like to be tied down by anyone or anything, and they'll do whatever it takes to maintain their freedom. 5. They're at their most effective when they're alone. Sigma males are often the most effective when they're working by themselves. This is because they don't have to answer to anyone and can do things their own way. They're not bound by useless rules and regulations, so they can be more efficient and get things done quicker. This allows them to accomplish more in less time, which is a very valuable commodity. They can collaborate with others and be cooperative, but their greatest work comes from solo time, since they are great at self-reflection and creative thinking. They have unique and odd viewpoints, allowing them to come up with creative ideas and innovative strategies. They love quiet and alone time because it's when they can really think and reflect on things. This is when they come up with their best ideas, and it's also when they're the happiest. Sigma men often find themselves seeking out solitude more than anything else, because it's in those moments that they feel most alive. Many people misunderstand this and think that Sigmas are reclusive or even antisocial. But the truth is, they just prefer their own company more than anything else, and there's nothing wrong with that. Many Sigmas are happy living in remote areas away from people because they find the peace and quiet refreshing. It allows them to live a simple life and focus on what's important to them. Those Sigmas who live in cities often find themselves seeking out solitary activities like hiking or biking, so they can get away from the noise and bustle of city life. So if you're ever feeling overwhelmed or like you need some time to yourself, don't be afraid to take a page out of the Sigma male playbook and retreat into your own little world for a while. It might just be exactly what you need. 6. They're comfortable with being misunderstood. People can't put their finger on what makes Sigma men tick, and that scares some people. They don't understand why someone would want to live outside the mainstream and be alone, so they label them as weird or antisocial. But Sigmas know this is not true. They're just different, and they're okay with that. This is because most people are sheep who blindly follow the herd, and Sigmas don't want to be like that. They'd rather be their own person, even if it means being misunderstood. Of course, it's not always easy being misunderstood, but it's a price Sigma males are willing to pay for their independence.